Guys, good evening. I think I'm gonna have to take this one first. So far, huge turnout. Was not expecting this. So I didn't know I'm going to disappoint this many people today. Anyways, so today I'm not here to talk about my own research. Apparently, I'm not supposed to. So I'm going to talk about what happened up until then, and I just want to take one of the things as a case study. And today I'm not even going to discuss anything too technical either. I'm going to talk about something which is extremely general, and I'm literally going to talk about something which is considered as a global hot topic, pun intended. So when I came to UK, as a person who was hailed in India, especially southern part of India, which is extremely hot, I was expecting. I actually came at the time of Christmas, so I was actually expecting some Christmas that they actually show in the movies, like full of snow. People they go out and they celebrate Christmas in the snow. People they will be skating on the snow. So I was expecting something on the on the left side, this thing. But when I came here in 2014, this is what I saw. What's the connection? Where are the movies? Where is the Christmas charm? If you don't find the snow, you can't see that kind of Christmas feel, because you have been trained through so many millions of movies, especially about Christmas. If you have the snow, there's Christmas. If you don't have the snow, there's no Christmas. That's how it's supposed to be. But when I came to know that those stories ended like ages ago, I was pretty disappointed. And I came in 2014, and that was the year snow skipped UK. I was like, that was actually pain. So basically, I couldn't see the snow on Christmas. It's not just that, but I couldn't see snow any time in that 1 year. So no snow at all for me. Like it was just the same kind of life that I experienced back in India that I had to see here as well. And so I actually landed in Middlesbrough, and I spent there for quite a few years while I was doing my PhD. And I've heard so many stories about my friends' grandparents who used to celebrate so much of what do you call so many events, especially like this, like the thing that you can actually see. Sorry, I'll have to skip that. Yeah, so many something like ice skating on a frozen river. Like they have actually celebrated like some sort of barbecues, some sort of gatherings together, and they used to, some of the children, they used to skate on the ice which was created on the frozen rivers, and they used to explore the islands that were made by rivers that they generally can't explore while the rivers are flowing. So that's how they used to celebrate those winters. Can anyone of you guys tell me that, do you have those experiences personally now? You okay? Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Yeah, I can see. That is what I'm saying. I can see that. Yes. So when did you get to see that? Like in which year? That's exactly where I'm going. Which year? So it was one of the long ago. It was like a fairy tale. People used to do that. Is it even possible for the guys who are living right now? It's just definitely not possible, because you really can't see a frozen river right now, like in these times, right? So not in this country. Yes, exactly, not in this country. It's like a past cloud. So this is how the rivers look like even in winter. They are not supposed to, but there's something like an upside. I'm a driver, so I don't like snow, especially when I drive. Who loves to drive on the slippery roads? I just don't want to drive on the slippery roads. I just want to drive on a road which is safe for me, which can actually take me without any delays, right? But I wish the story ends over there. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end, especially when I speak of something like global warming, right? Because we are not exactly sure how long we can actually sustain with this global warming. How much temperature that the Earth could actually sustain, because of the global warming, either that we have created or that has already been there due to numerous geological events that are occurring on Earth. We have actually triggered something like a Holocene extinction event that's actually killing so many species around the Earth. They have killed millions and millions of species, not the animals, species out of Earth. So many animals, they are actually losing the habitat because of the wildfires. We have been seeing so many erratic conditions. There's actually one topic, the hot topic that's going on in the UAE. They are experiencing floods. Do you expect UAE is experiencing floods? Previously, it was Oman which was experiencing floods, right? UAE says like, they've got enough of water for an entire year within just 2 days. How is it even possible? Like, would you actually see that? So if the story ended just only at the point of having no snow on roads, I would have been pretty comfortable, even if it's of not seeing snow my entire life, because I can see I'm safe on roads. But the story doesn't end there, actually. There is a big chunk of story, a big chunk of horrible stories for so many animals, so many humans that followed after that. So now it looks like a problem that needs an immediate solution. As soon as possible, we have to find a solution. And there have been so many different researches that's going on trying to curb what's causing this, especially the acid gases, or something like, especially the carbon dioxide, which is actually the main reason behind the global warming. So about 30% of our emissions are being taken by oceans through a natural process. So we don't have to do so much about it. Like, oceans can take it naturally. They can absorb carbon dioxide naturally, about 30% of them. But at the same time, some of it will be converted into what you call calcites or carbonates, bicarbonates, and they can be stored on the ocean bed, or maybe they can be taken out to the shores eventually, and which may take a few years, a few million years. But at the same time, but because of this natural process, as it started doing all by itself, oceans are becoming acidic. What happens if the oceans become acidic? That's not going to be good for the ecosystem of the ocean. Marine animals will die, right? They can, especially those animals which contain shells. They can't even generate the shells at all. So that will actually create a lot of havoc in oceans. So basically, whatever the solution that Earth itself found by itself is not exactly a solution. It triggered an entirely different problem. So don't you think this problem has to be solved as soon as possible? So the same thought happened to have occurred to some of the previous researchers in 1970s and 80s, and they came up with an idea. What's this? Exactly, Seven Sisters. How many of you have been there? You have been there. They're such magnificent. That's a, oh God, this again. Okay, they're so magnificent that the name Brighton actually suits this, because they're bright, they're white, right? So when I went there, the stones are so soft. I actually collected quite a few stones, and I took them home, and even now I'm using them as pieces of chalk at home. Whenever I try to draw something, I'm just using them to draw. They're so soft. But would you believe they are the deposits of carbon dioxide? Of course, that took approximately millions and millions of years through the oceans to deposit that much of carbon dioxide in the form of carbonates, the calcites. Like they're completely carbon dioxide. Like the soft rocks are carbon dioxide. So and they don't just have carbonate in them, but they have got an entirely different solution in them as well, in the form of calcites, calcium. So if you introduce calcium carbonate from the stones into the sea, that can actually compensate the acidity in the waters. At the same time, that can even support oceans to take even more carbon dioxide into them. So that was the idea that was struck to some of our previous researchers, and they started doing some sort of experiments. They try to make different pairs of calcite rocks with different sizes. Some of them are big rocks, some of them are small particles. They try to add to oceans, and then they try to see if that's going to make any difference. So, so their idea was when they add it to the ocean water, it has to dissolve in the ocean water, and that can actually compensate the acidity that's formed by carbon dioxide, and that should also take some more carbon dioxide directly from the air. So that's the hope that you get, and that hope will drive you into doing those experiments, right? But unfortunately, this is what they found. Oh, sorry. So yeah, this is what they've expected. So they expected like this, it would actually increase the rate of carbon dioxide absorbed into the water. At the same time, fish will be safe. But this is what they found, unfortunately, because so what they've seen was they oceans are already supersaturated with calcite. This process is possible only when calcite is dissolved in the water. They didn't see that calcite would dissolve in the water anymore because the water is already supersaturated with calcite. So when you add more calcite to it, the calcite particles, they started floating on the surface of the water, blocking carbon dioxide, more carbon dioxide being absorbed into it. So instead of doubling the carbon dioxide intake, it halved. So the research actually backbounded. Like it was definitely not what they've expected. It was kind of a disappointment for them. So you guys tell me, how many of you guys think this research is a failure? Raise your hands. And how many of you think this research was successful? Wow, that's really, really nice. That's exactly what I think as well. So in my opinion, a research would be a failure when you put a full stop to it. Like there is no story to tell after this. There is no pioneer who would come after them and continue the story. But for me, in my opinion, this research was successful because our research was based upon that, completely based upon that. Whatever the point they left at, that's where we have started. There were the reasons who actually gave us the idea, the basic idea that you can actually use different crystals to enhance the ocean's ability to absorb more carbon dioxide. Because of them, because of their guidelines, we started exploring different sort of crystals and polymorphs to see how you can actually let the polymorphs dissolve in the ocean water, and how can you actually improve the ocean's ability to take more carbon dioxide into and deposit carbon dioxide permanently without taking too much of time, thus solving the, not exactly entirely solving, but improving the livelihood of humans by decelerating the global warming, and also improving the livelihood of the animals in the sea. So that is why I think the project was actually a success. What do you think? Thank you very much.